Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. So this is going to be a video where I talk about all of the books I read in April, and I know I'm very late to this, but it's because I've been a little overwhelmed in May. Like, my holidays started and instead of resting I was feeling like I should be doing things, and I feel like I was just getting really burnt out because of that. So I decided to just take time off from doing anything, and I've been resting and reading, and I still plan on doing the same for the rest of my holidays. But I was just inspired today to make this video, and I did take a poll on YouTube where I asked you what kind of videos you would like from me, and a lot of people said they wanted to see reading vlogs and book reviews and recommendations. So I will probably do a few other different videos as well, but mostly it's going to be bookish videos, obviously, and just whatever I feel like, honestly. But I just wanted to ask you that nonetheless. So I'm just going to dive right into the videos. So make yourself a nice cup of tea or coffee or whatever you would like and sit here and chill with me. I've made myself some apple cinnamon tea because I'm trying to cut down on caffeine for this month, so that's why I have this with me, just to stay hydrated. It's so good. So let's get right into the video. That was really hot, so I kept it aside. Now, a lot of these books are actually books I read on my Kindle, so I'll just put the book cover here if the book is not with me. The very first book that I read in April, and I feel like I've read so many of this author's books in April, it is The Little Book of Sloth Philosophy by Jennifer McCartney. Now, this book was really fun because it was a book about living very slowly, just like sloths do, and I feel like I love reading such books which talk about living life slowly and mindfully and not rushing. I feel like in this age we are always supposed to be, running from this task to another and doing everything at once and just overworking yourself. And I personally have just stopped living like that, and I like to just take things slowly. And I feel like if you want to learn more about how to live like that, this book was really perfect. It was just so beautifully written, and it has a lot of humor in it. So yeah, I feel like this author has a lot of humor in all her books, so obviously don't take everything to heart. So that was the first book that I read, and I gave that 4 stars. The second book I read was another book by the same author, and it is The Joy of Leaving Your All Over the Place. I don't know if that's like a proper cuss word, but she did put an asterisk in the middle. Anyway, so that is the second book, and now this book is kind of a parody on the life-changing magic of tidying up, and she also wrote it as The Art of Being Messy. And personally, I have read the life-changing magic of tidying up, and I did not like that book. It was very weird for me, and after I have read a lot of spiritual books and law of attraction books, I still could not deal with the fact that I had to remove my things and talk to them before letting them go. And firstly, I cannot let go of things that mean a lot to me. She talked about how if you have sentimental things, it's okay to give them away, and I cannot do that for the life of me. Like, if my mom has given me something and it means a lot to me, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm sorry. So that's why I feel like reading this book was really breath of fresh air. I love the way she was talking about it's okay to be messy, and it was kind of humorous again, but I feel like I could relate a lot because I'm so messy. I just realized I have my makeup brushes lying there drying, but that's fine. Like I said, I'm messy, and I just love being in a cluttered space. It just makes me feel cozy, and I know that's weird, but I cannot be minimalistic for the life of me. So that was really fun to read. I gave this book 4 stars as well. The third book I read, again by the same author, I'll put the title here, is The Joy of Being Online All the Time. Now this she wrote it as The Art of Losing Your Mind, and that was so funny to me. Again, a very relevant book in this time and age, and she actually wrote this book in November 2020, so quite recent, and she talks about the pandemic and how we are online all the time and we are losing our mind because of it. But she made it kind of like a parody where she's like, how to be online all the time and how to lose your mind, and it was again very humorously written. I gave this 4 stars as well. It was just so apt, and I definitely agree that if you were to be online all the time, you're definitely going to lose your mind. And yeah, just these books are really fun to read, and I feel like if you want a good laugh, definitely highly recommend. The 4th book I read was actually by Lauren Graham. If you don't know who Lauren Graham is, she plays Lorelai in Gilmore Girls, and the book I read is In Conclusion, Don't Worry About It. And this is honestly a very short book that she wrote about her time when she was trying to get into acting and how she used to worry a lot and stress about things. And she starts off by talking about this time in college when she graduated and she was supposed to give a speech, and how she was so stressed about that, and how in the end things turned out fine and you don't really need to worry about things. I just thought it was a really lovely read, and honestly it's a very short read. It's like 52 pages, so I flew by it in one single sitting while having my morning coffee, and it was just so inspiring. So yeah, if you're looking for short books, definitely highly recommend this. I loved it. I gave this 4 stars as well. By the way, 4 stars are books that I love, and then 5 stars are like my absolute favorites. Yeah, that's just my rating system. The next book I read, now this one was The Cozy Life. I'll just put the cover here, and it's by this author Pia Edberg, and it's also called Rediscover the Joy of the Simple Things Through the Danish Concept of Hygge. And personally, I was expecting to love this book because it just sounded so lovely, but it turned out to be a very disappointing read to me. Now, the biggest problem for me was because she was talking about a lot of coziness, like cozy things in terms of like sweaters and blankets and stuff, and I was just sweating reading that because I was reading it in the summer, and she's just assuming that everyone is living in a really cold country or a cold place, and you know, it's so cold and you need to just snuggle up in sweaters and hot tea and coffee. I understand that those things are cozy, but you need to have you know, the understanding that not everyone is living in a cold place. The next thing I really hated was that she was promoting minimalism, but at the same time she was telling you, like giving you a list of things you need to buy in order to feel cozy, and the top of the list, the things she kept mentioning again and again was getting scented candles. And it's fine, I love scented candles and I do light them now and then, but personally I go through maybe a candle a month, even less honestly. I like still have candles from a year ago and I've only gone through like 2 of them, the 3-wick ones. But she kept talking about how you need to keep getting candles and they are so good, and she said how they are not like, they're reasonably priced. I don't find scented candles to be reasonably priced, at least in India. Like if you were to go and buy a candle, a small candle will be like, you know, at least 200 rupees if not more, and you're just going to be burning it. And Bath and Body Works candles, don't talk about those. They are like 2,000 rupees or something unless they're on sale, but still I find them to be good for a special occasion, but not just burn through them to feel cozy. I don't get it. The next thing, I'm sorry, I'm just like so hyper, but the next thing is she also talks about how you need to cut out caffeine and cut out sugar because you need to eat healthy. At the same time, in another chapter she talks about how having coffee is cozy in like a coffee shop or something, and she also gives recipes to make like sugary filled desserts, and I'm just like, what are you trying to say? It was just so hypocritical. The last straw was the fact that she praised the life-changing magic of tidying up, and I was just done with it. I was done with that book, and I did read it full, like all the way through, but I gave it 1 star. I just hated the book so much. So yeah, that was a big rant. But the next book I read was Midnight Valentine by J.T. Geisenger. I'll put the title here, the cover page here. I actually listened to this book on audio and I found the book quite funny, and the main character Megan, she was just a joy to listen to. I just love the way she thought, and her sense of humor was amazing. Now this book is about Megan, obviously, and she loses her husband in an accident, I think I don't remember if it was 3 years or 5 years ago, but she loses her husband and she moves to this place to buy this house that she and her husband were planning to get together, and she meets this guy there who just for some reason really hates her, and he's actually like a contractor there, and he's supposed to be like the best contractor there is, like for renovating your house, and she tries to avoid him because he keeps like giving her really bad vibes, but at the same time she finds herself being attracted to him at the same time. And it's just a very I feel like even a spiritual book, because it does deal with those aspects. I don't want to give any spoilers, so definitely go into it with an open mind. And yeah, I feel like if you even read the synopsis you would understand what I'm talking about maybe, but I just found the audiobook experience to be amazing. So if you're looking for a good audiobook, definitely recommend, because the narration is just on point. The next book I finished, and I don't really need to give a lot of context to it, but this is A Court of Wings and Ruin, and it is the third book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I love this so much. I'm so glad I finished this, and I mean, I'm taking a little bit of a break before going to the next books, but I am so excited for the TV series, and I don't want to give any spoilers, so I'm not going to talk about the synopsis here, but I did give it 5 stars. I loved it so much, and I feel like if you're really into like fantasy and just good romance, good plot, definitely recommend Sarah J Maas's books, and A Court of Thorns and Roses is just perfect for that dose of fantasy. But the next book I read, which I read in 2 days, and that was Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I absolutely love this book as well. And this is a book about 2 writers who end up living next to each other, and there's a lot more to the plot, honestly, but they are also childhood frenemies. Like, they are sort of friends, sort of enemies. And the plot is a lot more than that, but I don't want to give any spoilers again. But our main character January, is like a hopeless romantic, but later she like starts doubting that because of certain circumstances in her life, and she's struggling with a writer's block, and she goes to live in this house that she gets because of certain circumstances. Again, don't want to give any spoilers, so you'll find out as you read, but it's just a lovely romance. I feel like the book deals with a lot of mental health stuff, and I just feel like it was dealt very well. Now, some of the things in the book were not super realistic for me, and that's why I give 4 stars out of 5, but I still feel like it's a perfect summer read if you want like a beachside setting and just good summer vibes. Highly recommend. Now, the next and the last book that I read in May, and I'm sure a lot of you know about this already, but that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, and oh my god, need I say more? So I read this book because the Netflix TV series came out in April, and I really wanted to watch it, but I also wanted to read it as I watched, so I decided to start reading, and I watched it while I was getting through the chapters, and it was such a wonderful experience. So I have vlogged the whole experience, and I will probably link it here. Hopefully the video will be up by now because I've still not edited it. I'm going to edit it and upload it, but the book is about this girl Alina, and I don't want to give any spoilers again, but we're in this like setting where she is like a normal human being, but then there is an event that takes place which leads to her being taken to I don't know if this is a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler because it's like in the synopsis, but they find out that she possesses certain powers, and she's taken to the king's palace in order to like, she and her powers could probably save the world. That's I don't want to give spoilers, so that's all I can tell you. But the show, I just want to talk about the Netflix show. It is done so well. I loved how they have included the crows in the show. So there's Kaz and Inej and Jesper and Nina, and Nina and Kaz were like my most favorite characters in the show. I feel like Nina was like the best, and then there's Kaz. I loved the show so much. I just did not want it to end, and I'm hoping that there's a season 2 coming out soon. But I highly recommend you read the book and then watch the show. And strangely, I love the show so much more than the book, which is crazy. Like, I did love the book, but the show just took it to another level. I don't know how. It was so good. I've realized that TV shows are so much better than movies. Like, that was the same case for You, and I feel like even You by Caroline Kepnes, it was so well done in the form of a TV show. So yeah, I feel like if you are looking to get into a fantasy and you want to watch it on screen and you want it to be a good adaptation, Shadow and Bone is it. I gave the book 4 stars, but I would give the TV show like 10 out of 10. It was so good. But yeah, that's all for me fangirling about Shadow and Bone. But yeah, really happy with everything I read and watched in April, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I read only 9 books in April, but I feel like that was a lot of books, honestly, for me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with a new video talking about books or something nerdy, I guess. And I hope you're taking care and staying safe. I know that the condition is so bad in India right now, but we can just hope for the best. But yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.